Welcome, everyone. My name is Marlena Orloff. I'm a medical oncologist treating uveal melanoma at Thomas Jefferson in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I'm joined today by Ashley. Ashley, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me on. My name is Ashley McCrary, and I was diagnosed with ocular melanoma in 2012. I live in Auburn, Alabama, and I'm just happy to be able to share my story with you today.
Okay, Ashley, we'll kind of go a little ways into your journey. And if you can just tell us a little bit about how you found out or how you were diagnosed with metastatic uveal melanoma.
Well, I had been on surveillance since 2012, pretty much every 3 to 4 months the first 5 years, and then every 6 months after the fifth year, and had no evidence of disease every single scan. And then in October of 2020, I did just my normal MRI of the abdomen, CT of chest, and CT of my pelvic area and got a call, the call that's I had never had before. My doctor had never said, come in and let's go over. My doctor locally had not. And I went in and they pulled up the iPad, and where I'd had no lesions up to this point, I had over 100 tumors in my liver. And at the time of diagnosis, I knew a lot about ocular melanoma. I had been really involved in a lot of the, I guess, support groups and trying to learn as much as I could. And I knew that staying local was not going to be an option for me, unfortunately, for treatment. So immediately, thankfully, I had a relationship with you, Dr. Orloff. And on the same day that I learned this, we were able to reach out, knowing that we would want to pursue treatment at Thomas Jefferson. And we were able to do that immediately, being able to send my scans to you during a very tricky time with COVID and travel and all the issues that went along with that. But yeah, it was a very scary time. One of those things, I just had two friends that had passed away from metastatic uveal melanoma. And yet, I knew there was hope on the horizon. I guess I'll say it that way, with lots of new options available that weren't available prior to that time.
Wow, I mean, 2020, it feels like a lifetime ago.
Yes.
6 years, pretty amazing.
Mhm.
Just kind of briefly, if you remember, kind of what were the next steps, biopsy, how we decided, on treatments, and just very briefly, kind of what treatments you've had over the last number of years.
Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate. Immediately got to Jefferson very quickly. Once my scans got there and the tumor board reviewed them, I went to Philly to have a biopsy done. And of course, it came back metastatic uveal melanoma. I had probably 10 measurable tumors at that time and a lot of speckling throughout my liver. And so the decision was made that I would start with immunoembolization. I did 8 months of that, right side, left side, and had some really good results. I responded to it, except I kept having new tumors. The tumors that were being treated were somewhat responding, but it was just multiple new tumors every month. So, fortunately, during that time, I had genetic testing done that was not available to me in 2012, which revealed a number of things. One of them that I was PRAME positive, HLA positive, which we had not known that before. And at the time, Dr. Orloff, Dr. Sato came to me and said, we have a new trial. We have a trial going on right now, the PRAME trial. And you would qualify if you're interested. So I did. I signed up for that trial in June of 2021. And the only catch to that was I live in Auburn, Alabama, and the trial was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania once a week. So I would fly up on Sundays, have treatment on Mondays, fly back on Tuesdays. And I did that trial, and really it was very successful for me. Probably I would dare say I probably benefited more than anybody on the trial. I had some progression along the way that I will just say, so I don't have to go into all the details, but I've had 7 different treatments for the metastatic lesions to my liver. When we had a rogue tumor, we had it radiated, but I stayed on the trial. When I had it progress to my lung and then my breast, we added Kimtrack. So I was on a PRAME Kimtrack trial. Had those two tumors, the breast and the lung radiated, which they both responded to that as well, and continued to do extremely well for another 2.5 years until I had some progression in March of 2025, which we decided to get off the PRAME aspect of the trial and pursue chemoembolization, which I've had four of them, but I stayed on a systemic treatment, which I'm so thankful we moved to being able to do both liver-directed treatment and systemic treatment. And so I've been still doing Chemtrack weekly. I've not gotten off of that at all. Added the four chemoembolizations, and shocked to say, and feel like a walking miracle as Dr. Orloff. I could just hug her neck right now because I basically have no tumors left. What I do have are pretty necrotic looking, a little bit of enhancement around the edges of one, but it looks like what I've done has successfully treated the lesions so far.